Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today, I will be reviewing another episode of Spider-Man the Animated Series, and I hope you enjoy. The Spider Slayer. This may be the most important episode to watch in the first season. This episode first introduced some of the most important Spider-Man characters in the show, like Norman Osborn, Alistair Smythe, and the Kingpin. This episode starts with a Spider-Seeker robot tracking and eventually attacking Spider-Man. The next morning at the Bugle, Felicia Hardy is hosting a party at JJ's penthouse, and JJ needs a photographer, so he sends Peter, also calling him his best photographer, while crossing his fingers, but whatever. On the other side of town, Norman Osborn is with Spencer and his son Alistair Smythe working on a Spider-Slayer robot called the Black Widow. Eddie Brock is there to be the first to report the defeat of Spider-Man. It's not even implied if Spencer and Alistair Smythe want to capture Spider-Man, but working for Norman Osborn, they have to, and they have to trust that he will do everything by the book. But considering this is Norman Osborn, he usually doesn't. In fact, he is working for the criminal mastermind of New York, the Kingpin. Later at the party, in which Peter brings his Aunt May as his date, Flash Thompson and Harry Osborn, who also make their first appearance in the show, decide to pull a prank on Peter Parker and dress up as Spider-Man to scare Peter. Just then, the Black Widow shows up and captures Spider-Man. Well, a Spider-Man. It's actually Flash Thompson dressed up in a Spider-Man costume. And now the real Spider-Man must save his greatest enemy, the big bad bully Flash Thompson, and stop the Black Widow from doing any more damage. This episode reminds me a lot of Amazing Spider-Man issue 5. The same thing with Flash Thompson, him being mistaken as the real Spider-Man, happened in that issue also, except instead of the Black Widow Spider Slayer, in the comic it was Doctor Doom. One thing is, the Kingpin was only in it for a minute or two, and at the end, it leads straight into the next episode, with the Kingpin working with Alistair Smythe to kill Spider-Man. The Kingpin actually lies and convinces Alistair that the fire that, spoiler, killed his dad at the end was because of Spider-Man. Alistair was voiced by Maxwell Caulfield, and Kingpin was voiced by Roscoe Lee Brown. For the Smythes, Alistair has a full character arc in the series. In fact, the times he talks back to the Kingpin are some of the memorable quotes for me in the show. Spencer, his father, tells Alistair he's only doing this with Osborn to get Alistair a hover chair because of the lab accident that he caused that crippled Alistair to a wheelchair. Even at the end, Alistair doesn't want to hear any more about stuff with Spider-Man or robots, but eventually, he is convinced by the Kingpin. The Kingpin wants to get rid of Spider-Man because without him, it is easier to control crime in the city, or that's what I got from the few seconds he talked on screen. At the end, it's revealed to everyone that Eddie Brock was on this attack which destroyed Jameson's penthouse, and after that, JJ actually fires him, giving Eddie even more hatred towards Spider-Man. Also, Flash gets yelled at by Felicia in a kind of funny scene at the end. I always talk about comedy in every episode I've reviewed, so I may just point out jokes from now on, like JJ saying, "You want understanding? See a shrink," or Spider-Man telling a Kingpin goon, "Congratulations, you can count," and they say the school system's failed. If there was something that stood out to me, it was that the episode felt more like a show and less like a silly superhero cartoon. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. I think some parts could have been forgotten about, and personally, there were parts I didn't like when the Black Widow was just crawling around slow, or the stuff with the Kingpin goons. Sure, there was good jokes with that, but not having them wouldn't have hurt the episode. Or that's just my opinion, and I can see how someone will definitely be opposed to this. But anyway, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys, and have a good day.